speaker is sophomore Garrett, number 32, and a running back on the Mountaineer football team. Morgantown also does a pretty good impression of Elvis Presley. The title of his speech is Study Habits and Education.
Good afternoon. When we went to these schools in the past weeks, many of the students had aspirations of attending college. I told these students that their study habits now are crucial in obtaining a good education. In the first place, their performance in school right now will affect them later in college. The grades that they receive on their report card will stay on a record, which will allow them to attend a college of their choice. Also, many of them will be taking a standardized test, such as the ACT test and the SAT test. These tests are studied by colleges to determine if the student is eligible to attend their university. Many of the students that I went to school with and that I talked to didn't take these tests seriously and didn't do well on these tests. The students that did do well on these tests received good scores and were able to attend the college of their choice. The ones who didn't take it seriously were penalized somewhat by such rules as Proposition 48, which the NCAA has set a bylaw by. Others weren't allowed to attend the college of their choice or had to attend a junior college to get their grades up. I also told the students that they need to incorporate time management into their study skills. I was a kid when I was growing up that always loved to watch TV or after school go play football and basketball. Because I did this, I was penalized because I didn't incorporate time management into my skills. I had to learn a hard lesson to get these skills incorporated to me. So I told them that they have to incorporate these time management skills by going to school, after school, go to practice, come home, eat dinner, then study. It's a very hard thing to do for these kids to do because I'm sure they like to watch TV, or the age that I talk to these kids at, they were in the midst of, I would guess, say puberty, which they like to talk on the phone and have girlfriend and boyfriends. Also, I thought when I was writing this speech that it was important to tell them that getting a good education gives them a certain amount of personal satisfaction. I remember times when we received tests, getting the scores back, that I may not have did well on the test, and the person beside me did well. The feeling I had inside of me was empty because I knew I could have did better on the test, but I had to study and take the time needed to do well on the test. While the other person was overjoyed because they received an A or a B. And they felt a lot better about themselves because they knew they did the best they could do. Well, it took some time for me to realize that, and fortunately right now I do, and I was able to express my concern to these kids who may not have realized it yet. Also, I'd like to talk about how some athletes here at the university and ones in the high school, they put all their eggs in one basket, which isn't good. Today and yesterday was the NFL draft. I'm sure many of the athletes that were drafted put all their eggs in one basket, and luckily they were drafted. But many of them will not be drafted that were expecting to. These people have to go back to school to have something to fall back on because they didn't stay in school, put all their eggs in one basket, which wasn't good. That's why everyone should get a good education. And in my conclusion, I remember a song, one of my favorite songs. It's called The Greatest Love of All. In this song, one of the lyrics is that the children are our future. Well, the children are our future. That's why they have to get an education to do the best they can to help the world leaders later in life. Thank you.